Okay. All right. We can see on this pullback that it's not very decisive, even to the point where the Dow was up 17, but that was after it opened much lower and came back up. But more illustrative, if that is the right word, is notice what's happening in the NASDAQ. Every time they open it and take it down, they bring it back up above where they opened it. Open it lower, bring it up. Open it lower, bring it up. So what that really tells us is that the sellers haven't taken over this market. The buyers are still here. There's some profit taking on the open. And even on the S&P 500, same scenario. So this is still a good indication that the buyers are still around. All right, and crude oil, another indication that they're not selling off crude oil with any great resiliency. Notice how it's pulling back with very indecisiveness. That would be a stronger indication that they're not ready to pull crude oil down. They're still heading up on the next signs of strength. Gold, on the other hand, is just in a sideways mode. Nothing going on there. The things that we're trading over in the options room, we're still short live cattle ever since the hanging man bearish doji sandwich, with the expectation we're heading down to the 200-day moving average, and live or lean hogs has gotten to the 200-day moving average. So now we're making sure our safety stop for our short position is back up here above or right at today's high. Bearish doji sandwich after a bearish engulfing on soybeans. That's probably a good indication. Soybeans kind of broke this little trend area. The soybeans are heading lower. And right now, we're thinking of going long on wheat. But with this day, you can see what the trajectory of wheat is right now, just sideways, nothing there. So that's just common sense analysis. If you've got up moves, down moves, up moves, down moves, and it's moving this direction, there's really nothing to trade there. Go on to something else. Okay, so what we are involved with, market is square, is still just moving as a nice steady eddy, especially after this Morningstar signal with a booster to it right here at the breakout level. Told us if they traded it positive, we were still in a good, strong uptrend. We got some good steady eddies. HIIQ. You can see what it's doing ever since this little fry pan bottom breakout with a doji sandwich through the 50. Just stay long on this one. And DXCM, ever since the best friend signal. Nice little steady eddy. We're kind of breaking out into new territory, which makes the prospects of going to the 50 pretty good. We're in the overbought area, but there is no signs right now of anything that Jason, yeah, we're having problems. I think they're doing something to reset the website. Abe is kind of keeping his, not Trader Abe, Abe Abraham is keeping his keeping an eye on what's happening there. We're trying to figure out whether our server is resetting or something, because a lot of people are having trouble getting in. We don't have any problems getting in, or Abe didn't. Abraham didn't. So we don't know what's happening there. Okay, so we're right now looking at some of the ones. Again, there was our Morningstar stick sandwich gap up Now it's in a J-hook type pattern, an ADMS, MRTX, fry pan bottom scenario. I don't know. There we go. Especially coming back up after the inverted hammer. We're looking at the same thing over here on EVBG. This big breakout. You can still be a buyer of this. I would suspect another move of this magnitude. And NKTR is another one where notice the breakout occurred right here at the inverted hammer. So they started gapping it up. Now we want to be getting ready to take some profits, especially if they open it lower tomorrow. They need to open this positive and trade positive to stay in it. And MRNS, another one that has to stay above the T-line to stay in it. Let's get rid of this. Again, the fry pan bottom is your main analysis at this point. We were trying to buy E or XNET had it opened and started trading positive today because of the J-hook pattern. What usually happens on these breakouts is very obvious. The J-hook pattern, which starts with a very strong price move, consolidation, we're still going to be a buyer of this one, especially if it comes back up through today's open in tomorrow's trading. What else do we got here? CVRR, one of the oils. This is a perfect example of when you see a signal, they gap it down, and then they close it below the T-line, close it out. That tells you the sellers are in control. So that one's been closed out. Zine, another one that was almost a dark cloud. I say almost. It was probably pennies away from closing more than halfway down this candle. Now, do have kind of a belt hold, possible dark cloud. We definitely want to see this open positive tomorrow to stay in this kind of fry pan bottom trajectory. And ZUMZ, this one we would have bought on positive trading today. If you didn't, if you bought it yesterday, this one has to stay or open positive and trade positive. If you're looking to buy, put a buy stop at 19, because when you have this morning or this very obvious indication with a bullish engulfing right on the 50-day moving average, yeah, you can ask questions anytime, as long as it's a question. You want to save your individual stock requests until I tell Jim to do the double line. We are going to be doing, now that it's getting a little bit chillier outside, we're going to be doing a very, we did our 2-day training on candlesticks. When was it? Last weekend? I can't even remember. But over the next few weeks, we're going to be doing another Saturday session. The members link on the website is not operational. Yes. For some reason, something's being reset somewhere. Herb still is based upon the time frame that you're trading. Everything we're looking at is on a daily basis, because on kind of the average, let's say the swing trader like myself, if it is if you're going to buy based on a daily chart, you're going to sell on a daily chart. The only time we start going to our 10-minute chart is when you start moving drastically away from the T-line. Then you flip to your 10-minute chart. Now, That won't change. I mean, nothing should change by changing the time factor on this chart. All it does is just expand it. Yeah, Glenn, hold on. I'll get to NVIDIA. But if you expand this chart, it doesn't matter whether you're looking at this chart on back a 1 month or back 3 months. Now, the only reason I have it as this at this level is so that I can see what type of patterns are setting up. The important factor right on the first analysis is right here. MTRX, another fry pan bottom. You can see how the moving averages have been acting as critical factors during this fry pan bottom. Then they gapped it up. You just want to stay long. Steve, if it's a new training session on a different topic, yes. But you're getting those, if you're a member, you're getting those at a deep discount. Now, if we do a training session again that you've already done, then you come in for free on those. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, SND. Another fry pan bottom in progress. And how did this get started? With the kicker signal. Oh, MTRX is trading lower. How much lower? It's not unusual to see them open right back at the T line and start right back up again, depending on what the news was. Okay, the biggies. Apple has kind of pulled back right here to the T line. So that was a good case of knowing what your signals were telling you. Notice you had a hanging man with a lower open. That would have told you where was your next likely target, back to the T line. Amazon in the 45 degree. Notice the kicker type signal, the big move. Now we're in a 45 degree. So how long do you stay with Amazon? Until you see a sell signal and a close back below the T line. Now some of these, like Tesla, weren't worth looking at right up until today, because now what do we have? We have a bullish left-right combo that closed above the T line. The fact that it did a left-right combo is very clear evidence to us, anyways, as candlestick investors, that a left-right combo is going to tell us there's more than likely a high probability there's going to be more upside. Same scenario on Netflix. A left-right combo, right smack dab off the 50. If this opens positive, where's our next likely target? At least back up here. So if you're trading options on this, at least we can calculate where our target is with a high degree of probability. So might be a case for doing a spread versus buying calls outright. NVIDIA, let's see, did NVIDIA show an abandoned baby on Thursday? Kind of, yes. Make this big enough where we can see it. Well. Yes, the gap down, followed by the gap up. It's not a reversal. It's just telling you the uptrend is probably still in progress. Will you be cautious on Tesla buy entry since it's near the 200? Not necessarily, because your stochastics are down here in the oversold area. So it's not like we're stretching to get to the 200. I would probably be buying on positive trading tomorrow and then just observing what it does once it gets to the 200. Not that worrisome, because if it opens positive, it's probably breaking this downward trend channel. We've already seen a very strong reversal, left-right combo, and stochastics having a lot of juice left in them, that I'd be buying and just be observant when it got to the 200. The indexes like Nugget, just nothing there, no direction. And Labu, kind of the same scenario, still just drifting lower. So if you happen to be short Labu, it's right here at a critical level, that if it opens lower, where's our next likely target? Back down here to the 200. So what type of pattern would this be illustrating? This would probably be our what we call the blue ice failure, where it's fallen through the ice, came up, tried to find the hole it fell through, it couldn't, drowned, so it's heading down to the bottom of the pond. Yeah, kind of a double doji sandwich, bearish doji sandwich. All right, and then a couple for those that like a little bit longer holding period. You can see GM is hit. This is going to be one of the sessions, or one of the topics that we do in our next Saturday training session on how to invest, which is going to be some of the elements that people kind of brush over, just showing the different techniques of investing. And part of that is I'm going to go through maybe 5 or 6 trading strategies that produce high probability results. Because a lot of people say, well, when you got so many things to look at, how do you narrow them down? We're going to go the other way. We're going to show the different trading strategies that work extremely well, that we kind of brush through. I mean, this looks like a good buy right here because of the 50-day moving average bounce type setup on GM. So that gives everybody the opportunity that once you've kind of gotten in a, now I hate to, it's not, I've got too many people saying, how come I can look at a trade or a chart and I still buy at the wrong time, sell at the wrong time? I'm losing money on trades that should be working. That's where we're going to go up the scale a little bit, and how to invest. What are the things that you want to get mentally prepared for before you start applying a good trading program? What was I saying? Oh, I forgot. So part of it is, if there's too many things to to try to learn all at one time, we're going to go through about 5 or 6 trading strategies where all you have to do is pick out 1 or 2 of them and kind of get experienced at those, because they're going to make you money. And then you can start adding things to it as you're going along and learning. So GM looks good. Ford has a same prospect. Notice your little hammer, inverted hammer, bullish confirmation right off the 50. That kind of gives us the impression that if they start this, this up, like wave 1, wave 2, if they break out through here, wave 3 should be in progress. Oh, take a look at holes. Not yet. Holes, yeah, you wanted to see it fail right up there. It's close. So if you bought here, this is one, and again, this is part of that, where do you close out a position? If you bought on the basis that this was a candle confirming our belt hold bullish engulfing, where should your safety stop have been? Right here. Shouldn't have come back down through there. Now, the reason you have a stop there is not that you think it's going to, but if it does, what's that do to your analysis of this uptrend? It's pretty much disappeared. So right now this becomes a crummy looking chart. You want to, if you stopped out, you want to be out and move on to something else. Oh, Keto Carol, I don't know whether they've kept those. That's something where you have to email Abraham and see if he's got, if he's saved any of the links. Have been trying to find beginning of J-hook patterns. So FMC, am I on the right track? Okay, Gwen, we're getting way off track, but we will take a look. Yeah, if you're on the right track, may not be a J-hook pattern, but where do we obviously want to see this break out? Through this level. And INSEE, that's not a J-hook. Remember what the prerequisite for a J-hook is. A strong price move. This is just kind of a reversal. Yes, let's hold off. Yeah, the prerequisite for a J-hook is a very strong move to the upside. Okay, let's take a look at a few. And don't worry, whatever questions you have on individual stocks, we will get to. Bison, a nice little breakout. Now, what do we want to watch on the overall? Something's happening here. The overall analysis of this chart. Well, we can see pretty much there's a downtrending channel. We want to see this open positive and trade positive tell us there's a breakout of this sideways motion. There was discussion today in the chat room on Zoes of where would this fact that we are looking at a kicker signal, and if you are buying today on kind of a bullish doji sandwich, where should your logical stop be? Tom, these are all daily charts, but it doesn't matter what you're looking at as far as daily. Candlesticks patterns are fractal, meaning you could be looking at a 1-minute chart, a 10-minute chart, an hourly chart, a monthly chart. They all look exactly the same. So if you're trading intraday, you're going to maybe go to the 10-minute chart or the 5-minute chart. So anyways, all right. So yeah. So if I'm let me go real quick. So if I was in live cattle, or if I wanted to trade live cattle, I know my direction is in this direction, but I might be trading the 10-minute chart, saying, all right, if I know that the daily downward direction is here, and my 10-minute chart just did a bearish engulfing signal, maybe I'll trade short real quick on the 10-minute chart. So I use the daily chart to say, all right, which way am I heading? And then I'll probably trade in that direction. Yes, Harry, that was exactly right. This is why you want to know what your signals look like. So where would have been if you were, oh, pshaw, what is happening with this mouse? Just enough to make you think your grandmother. If this opened here and was trading up here, where did you not want to see it trade? Didn't want to see it trade back below this open, because what type of signal would it be producing? A very weak signal, like a shooting star. And where would it be occurring? Right here at this resistance level. So let me do this. If this all of a sudden came back down through here, what would this be telling me? That this resistance level is still acting as resistance. That was not good to be in there. That's right, darn cat. Yeah, so If I had been buying this today, I would have had a stop right here, because if it closed or if it traded back below the open, that was telling me the bulls weren't there anymore. Skechers, another one where we can logically see a bullish engulfing, breaking this downward trend channel. That whatever this kicker signal indicated but didn't confirm at that time, it's telling us that the buyers are starting to step back in after the profit taking has occurred. OMER, your best friend signal. And where did this occur? Breaking out through this downward trend channel. What's usually the results of a best friend signal? A lot more upside. Best friend signal on BRS. What's your usual result? More upside. We did NKTR. All right. SORL. You can see how this one got started. Inverted hammer, smack dab off the 50, double bottom, bullish confirmation. Where's the next likely target? Probably right up here. The percentage move from this area to this area looks like a good 30, 35% upside. CDXC. This is going to be part of our training, is where do we look for things that are going to give us the highest percentage returns. If you can obviously identify a resistance level, and we can see what type of signal we have right here. There's kind of a Morningstar signal, gap up, doji. Where was it? Right smack dab on the resistance level. And what's our simple rule of the doji? They're going to move it in the direction of how they open after a doji. So we can be buying immediately with a much higher degree of confidence, knowing that if they open this positive, what type of day should they have? At least the same magnitude candle as this. And what would that tell us if they were moving in this direction? That this resistance level is not acting as a resistance. And if we're in a breakout situation, what is our expected results? A good, strong price move. Let's see if I can find where this one occurred way back when. Right here, same scenario. When this kind of broke out, why can't I do this? Kind of through that level with a doji gap up, that gave us a good, strong price move. So this is what we're trying to do with using candlestick signals, is find the trade setups that are going to put us in not only a high probability that it's going to move in the right direction, but it's going to have a strong move in the right direction. Look when it was time to sell this breakout. When they gapped up in the overbought condition and did a long-legged doji. That told us that we probably should be out of at least half the position. And what was the alert for telling us to be out of that position? Look how far away you are from the T-line. Where was the ultimate place to start selling? Well, if we could see we were trading up here, which meant we now had another big green candle. Look how far away you are from the T-line. When on a daily chart, that was telling us we were way too far away from the T-line. What's our trading strategy? You flip to your 10-minute chart, and as soon as a 10-minute chart shows a sell signal and coming back through the T-line, you take your profits. And why would you be doing that? Because the daily chart is already telling us we're way out of whack. We should be looking to take profits. Right now, looking at this same chart, starting back up again. So you want to keep an eye on HN or HMNY. Now, we know what should happen based upon candlestick patterns. There's our fry pan bottom. This is ANAB. What do we want to do with this one? If it starts trading positive, looking like it's going to break out through here, what do we got for a prospective upside? Well, if this moved from 35 to 75, this should take us up into about the 110 level. USAT. that's what we saw coming out of this area. Look what happened, a belt hold. What's a belt hold type signal tell us? They've wiped out some sellers. What do they do the next day? They gapped it up through this level. What's the result? Breaking out of a fry pan bottom. Very strong price move. Run. Broke out. Pulled back. What's another element that we usually see in a fry pan bottom? That when we get to the fry pan bottom breakout level, it's not unusual to see a lot of whipsaw. I'd be a definite buyer of this one on positive trading. Yeah, you could also have that cup and handle type setup. But when you start seeing whipsaws, where's the whipsaws occurring? Right about where this fry pan bottom started. An INSM, another fry pan bottom. What's our simple rule of a fry pan bottom? You can stay long until you see a sell signal and a close back below the T line. When might you want to be buying a fry pan bottom? Right about there. But if this opens positive tomorrow, what's it telling us about the fry pan bottom? We're right at the breakout. Where's the big move likely to occur as they break out through this level? And for those that like smaller price stocks, oops, terrible handwriting. Yeah, notice where the fry pan bottom breakout occurred with a kicker type signal. Big percentage move on the breakout. So that's why not only do you want to know what your signals are telling you, but you also want to know where your pattern breakouts are likely to occur, because if you see a strong signal at your pattern breakout, that's double confirmation that that pattern is now going to be working extremely well. Best friend signal on overstock, steady uptrend. This is what we call the column reversal. You can see the column in here. Usually going to be followed by a strong trend to the upside after that. Big breakout. There's your message. Why do we call this the message? Because even though it was selling below where it opened, dark candle, the message was they got into this with great enthusiasm. So what do we look for on a message? We're looking for the profit taking this end. There it was, right there on the bullish engulfing, right off the 50. What was our next signal? A doji sandwich. What do we expect from a doji sandwich? More upside. Oh, I can't even remember which one that was. Where does a cradle pattern usually occur? The cradle pattern usually occurs at the bottom of a trend. This is just a pullback. Big column, big column. So it's got the same makeup as a cradle pattern. That's your indicator, and that's your indicator. GMED, another example of a breakout situation. These are the type of things that we're looking for, the signal and the breakout. That was GMED. AGRO. Belt hold. What's a belt hold indicate? They've taken out a lot of sellers. And where did they take out a lot of sellers? Down here at the bottom of the trend. Notice how we started back up through the T-line with a doji sandwich. That makes this a very viable candidate for coming back up to the 50-day moving average. CTRL, that thing. What's this telling us when they broke out back up above the T-line with a kicker signal? Look at the hammer signal. Look at the doji sandwich. What would we expect from here? More upside. And what was that? MBI. What did they tell us here at the 50 or at the 200 today? At the 200 was not acting as resistance. If this opens positive and trades positive, what type of pattern do we have setting up? Or 45 degree. We just stay long until we see a sell signal and a close back below the T line. In TREX, same scenario. We did one. We'll do another one sometime probably after the first of the year where we go back through our breakout pattern statistics. Notice the big, huge move here. What's our statistic? That if it opens positive and trades positive, there's a 90% probability you're going to go much higher. There's also a big probability that if you play this candle, that you probably want to close it out and wait for the next buy signal. That's just kind of a statistic. I don't remember the numbers. I just know them well enough that if I saw this after a big price move, you close out the position and wait for the next buy signal. Look at our breakout on the bullish flutter kicker, but it closed below the open. When was the time to get back in? Right here, had this open positive today, we'd still be a buyer of this one if it comes back up through today's open in tomorrow's trading, because what that tells us, a left-right combo right off the T-line, where we probably heading, at least back up to test this level, and then possibly a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 up here somewhere. Remember, prices move based upon investor sentiment. And if we can see that investor sentiment works the same way time after time, what happens when they wipe out a lot of sellers on a belt hold type signal? There's no sellers in the way anymore. That means your next move is going to be relatively strong. And fossil, so let's report is on the line. What's our strong indicator right on this chart? Our inverted hammer. Remember, we're looking for stuff that's going to close above the T-line, except for the fact that the further away you move from the T-line, the higher the probability is likely going to move there. So if you're buying on a positive open the next day, now you see what happens here. Now, if this opens lower tomorrow and starts trading off, you close out the position. It's telling us the T-line is still acting as resistance. If it opens positive and you're not in this trade, what do you want to do? You want to be a buyer, because what type of pattern is it going to set up? Our doji sandwich, because if it opens positive after a doji, which way is it going to go? Correct, John, 95% or better after an inverted hammer that it's going to go positive. So if this opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying immediately, because more than likely you're going to have the same magnitude move as this, which also tells us it's not resistant at the T-line. So now what do you have? You've got an inverted hammer that far away from the T-line, and then a doji sandwich taking you through the T-line. Where's your next likely target? Right back up to the moving averages. Okay, on the other side of the coin, when the markets are a little bit iffy, which they have been here for the last few weeks, you can see this absolutely sideways. It's safe, or not safe, but prudent to have some short positions in the portfolio. Notice our short recommendation on AFSI. I think that was yesterday. What is yesterday? No, but today's Monday. Must have been Friday. Had a kicker signal confirmed. They gapped it down again. We're in the oversold area. What are we looking for? We're looking for it to open lower and trade lower. Where's our safety stop? Right here at today's open. If it comes up through there, we've got a doji in the oversold area with bullish confirmation. We close out the trade. Very. Notice when the downtrend started. When they gapped it up in the overbought condition, where was your safety stop? Right where it opened. Because logic says if it came back down through there, especially in the overbought area, that far away from the T-line, where was it likely to move? Back to the T-line. Would we expect it to do that all in one day? Definitely not, but coming out here, you had a good profit if you were in this trade. Now look what happened after that huge sell signal. We're basically in a downtrend. Notice what happened here, right on the T-line with a gap down. You want to stay short. You're in the oversold area, so where's our safety stop? Don't want to see it trade back up above today's high. Anytime you're in an extreme overbought or oversold condition, use the previous day's open as your stop. There's your little hanging man gap down. Top failure. This is what we're looking for if you're going short, those type of percentage moves to the downside. We recommended MIC today on that same scenario, kicker signal. Which direction are we heading? We're heading down and they're still kicking it down. Stochastics up here. Where's our next likely target? I'd watch down in this area. And NVRO, we were short because of this bullish or bearish flutter kicker signal. Open here, closed here, gap down, did a doji, open lower, bearish flutter kicker. Did a doji type day. We're still short, but where's our safety stop? Right up here, 1 penny above today's high. If it comes up through there, that means the bulls have stepped in. We were going to go SICPT. It's big enough. But notice what it did. This is why the graphics of candlesticks is so greatly beneficial to trading. As soon as it opened lower, I'm thinking, okay, we're getting ready, but it started right back up, started back up. What's that telling us about going short? We definitely don't want to be going short. So where's our next likely place to go short? Tomorrow, if it trades back below the low of the open of today, what's that telling us? Well, today they failed at the T-line and took it down. We're still heading down. That's a good entry point is today's open. What goes up must come down. Oh, that's a nice looking chart. Oh, pshaw. You can see what happened here. When they broke out from the left-right combo, it went from about $2, hit $27, started trading off. Another very simple trading situation. It opened positive and started trading off. Where was a safe place to put your stop? Logic says if it came back down through this level, you wanted to be out of that trade because it was forming some sort of sell signal. I've only put this one up because look at the magnitude of movement. Today it was down 309. I think that was like a 38% move to the downside. So you got to watch these. The ones that pop up real big, got good prospects, so they'll go much higher. But what's the main criteria for seeing if they're going to go higher? What are the signals telling you? Oh. A breakout right here on NXET. Where was the sell signal? Look what happened right here. Look how far away we moved from the T-line and did a doji spinning top. Opened lower the next day. Started selling off. Where was their next likely target? Well, now you got a J-hook pattern. Well, I should be illustrating the fact that when you're moved from $4 to, in this case, $13 very quickly, be ready to take profits when you start seeing those sell signals come in. Oh, we've been long PS PLSE until when? We had a huge shooting star. What's the number one criteria for coming out of a position? The signal itself. If it opened lower today, which it did, where was your next likely target? Back down here to the T line. What was that telling us about this? That was a sell signal. That this breakout was over, close out the position. BYGR. Notice your doji gap down. Oh, Shazam. The darn cat's on my desk. Cat. But notice what happened right here at the 200. They sold it off again. What happens tomorrow? If they open this lower, you want to short it, because what do you basically have? A bearish J-hook pattern in progress. Still a little bit of a gap to fill just below this level. Now we've got the darn cat sitting right here on the cat. You're enough to drive somebody to drink. Okay. Cat is for sale. All right, this is what the graphics. Yes, I use trailing stops. Could have been. Now let's see. Go back to PLSE. Yes, if you were trading this one alertly, and it was up here, what was the warning flag? Look how far away you are from the T line. That's where, darn cat, not in the right place. Stay right there. I can think we can get this one pretty easy. There you go. I'm guessing that's the. That just seems like it's too far away. I'm guessing. Let's see, this was this morning's open. So this would have been the open over here. So, oops. So if this was going into the close on Thursday, I think, that would have been your, yes, that would have been where you would have closed out because you had a big evening star signal up here somewhere. Yes, so just a very simple rule that if you're that far away from the T line, I mean, that's what your observation should be on your daily chart. It's where are you compared to the T line? And you see it up here and you see it start reversing on your 10-minute chart, take your profits. Because what's our warning? We're too far away from the T line. We're probably going back to test it. Kicker signal on GOLF. That doesn't look good. So when you see a big move like that, there's usually going to be more downside. I should have things illustrating that. Kind of the gap down failure. What's this tell us right here? That they couldn't bring it back up and get back up above the T line. Look for more downside on this kind of dumpling top. Yes, you still use the T line. This chart, again, nothing would have changed. This could be a daily chart. This could be a 10-minute chart. This could be a 1-minute chart. Now, usually on your 10-minute and daily or 1 minute, you're not going to have gaps So yeah, bought 500,000. All right, Jay. Tell him I'll send him my cat for his cat. Let's see, INCR. So this is what we look for. When you see a big move like that, this is your expectation that you've crunched the investor sentiment. It's usually going to have some carry through. So that in itself can be a strong trading strategy. VRX. There's your evening star signal. Where do you think the likely move is going to be? Back to the T-line. Maybe back to the 50-day moving average. But at least you know the probabilities right now are, if it opens weaker tomorrow, it's probably going to trade weaker. And this is another strategy that we're going to be going through. Anytime you see a sell signal at a major moving average like the 200 or the 50, that's going to be much more relevant than just seeing a sell signal. In this case, that was relatively relevant. But a bearish Harami right back smack dab at the 50, what's that telling you? They aren't going up. What's this telling you about the trend? More than likely, they're still in a downtrend. ACAD, kind of the same scenario. Big shooting star, failure here at the 50. You stay short until you see a sell or a buy signal. EFII. What did this all tell you? They didn't have any resilient buying coming back in on this big gap down. Now what type of pattern do we have? There's our little dumpling top. This becomes a good wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 if it opens weaker tomorrow. And neighbors, same scenario. Had a sell signal, closed back below the T-line, wave 1, wave 2, prospects for wave 3. So anyways, with the market right now doing an indecisive movement, not selling off, but it's not showing any strength right now, so it's what I would call an indecisive mode at this point. You still want to have both long and short positions on in the portfolio. Okay, so let's first go through any general questions on candlesticks. Tractor Supply, yes. That's a down day in an uptrend. What's the logical movement? At least they're probably going to come back down and test the T-line, maybe the 50. If it does that, what's it tell us about our trend? More likely we're in a kind of a trend channel versus a straight up price move. VRX, when would you suspect a J-hook? If you see it come back down and hold at the T-line and start back up, then you start looking for your J-hook pattern. Eve, no, I don't trade Bitcom, and I don't even know how to pull it up since I don't trade it. Zach, wait till I tell Jim to do the double line. So if we know this is going to pull back, where was a safety stop for this one as a trailing stop? Right here. If they had enough strength to sell back through that level, where was the next likely target? Back to the T-line. Okay, I guess if no more questions, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. and in 4.2 seconds, do the next double line. Facebook, still nothing that I'd get real excited about. If you like it, you can be buying it on positive trading. Your percentage move, again, would probably be more oriented toward trading options versus wanting to go after the stock. It's just not one of the ones that I'd trade just because of the lack of movement. Constellation brands, you can stay long on this one, especially if they break it out through this level. There should be a little bit more strength coming into it. Hasbro is buying out Mattel. Both of them acted well today. So whatever the reasoning is, you can still be buying Hasbro if you like it on positive trading from here. Pepsi, you can stay long. Another one that you're not going to make a whole heck of a lot of money from, but it's moving in the right direction, and you've got good buy signals here. This is what you want to see after a belt hold, bullish confirmation. Aetna. Nothing here. You can see you're kind of stuck in a wedge. I wouldn't be long or short Aetna right now just because not even on a short. If I was going short, it'd have to come back down through this level. But right now you can see the wedge, so there's really no direction to it. Package, nothing wildly exciting. I mean, the downtrend had stopped. If I'd been short, I would have covered my short today on positive trading. Wouldn't necessarily, well, you can go long. It's just not going to be a well-defined. Yeah, it's not even really a scoop. Yeah, I guess you could call it a scoop. So if you were buying it, you first have to watch to see what it does at the 50. It's still not a well-defined scoop. Usually a handle of a scoop pattern is so flat that you just look at it and say, that's so flat. There's your bullish engulfing on Depot. You stay long, but where's your safety stop? One tick below today's low. Micron, you stay long. Nice little J-hook type pattern. You stay long on this one. FLT, you can buy this one on positive trading. Notice your kicker signal, consolidation. Stay long. Juno, definitely want to see this get back up above today's open. That would kind of confirm the J-hook pattern after your fry pan bottom breakout. MGM, all you can do here is stay long. Not a great looking chart, but it's heading in the right direction. SRPT, same scenario. Not a great looking chart, but it's heading in the right direction. You can stay long as it stays above the T line. ION, nice J-hook pattern. You can be buying this one above today's high. That would tell you that the J-hook is confirming to the upside. TRNO, not anything wildly exciting here other than the fact that they held on the 50. If you're buying, your next observation is to see whether they can break through the top of the trend channel. Galt, stay long. You can still be a buyer of this one. Just make sure your volume is hefty. You probably want to see probably 800,000 or more shares traded on a daily basis. But you can buy this one on positive trading, breaking out through this level. CTRP, Another one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow. And then use the T line as your. That was CTRP. Bison. Did we do Bison? The first one? We did. You can buy this one, but you want to see it get up through here because it's right smack dab on the resistance level. ICHR, nothing yet. If you were short, you've got a piercing signal. If it opened positive tomorrow, I'd cover any short position. I wouldn't be a buyer, though, until you see it close up above the T-line. A-bus, nothing. You're caught in a sideways wedge. I'd be someplace else. Babcock and Wilcox, another one that's not anything that's tremendously exciting. If you're long with a left-right combo, you can stay long, but it needs to get up through this level. If it comes up through that level, you can definitely be a buyer also. Chem, if you're short, if it opens positive tomorrow, you cover your short position with the information telling you that they are buying at the 200-day moving average. I wouldn't be a buyer, though, until it closes up above the T-line. COSN, yes. You can buy this one on positive trading. Make sure you have a lot of volume. You've got the Morningstar signal. If you're buying on positive trading tomorrow, you don't want to see it close back below the T-line. Twitter, another one that if you're going to be a buyer, it needs to come up through today's high, which is also Friday's close. You do have a left-right combo J-hook pattern setting up. Chalmers, nothing yet. If you were short, you would have covered your short position today. You're not a buyer unless it trades well above the T-line. CTMX, nothing great here either, other than the fact that if he would been short, you would have covered it. More than likely, without any major bullish candle, you're probably in the throes of a big fry pan bottom, which means you're not going to make very much money until you see a big breakout type candle. ABBV, if you're long, stay long. If you're looking to go long, it needs to come up through here. If you're long, it has to stay above the T-line. L brands, stay long, but I think the retailers got a little bit soggy today. So you want to make sure this stays up above the T-line. JD, I saw them talking about this. There's your bobble breakout. You can stay long on this one, but just as a safety factor, I would use today's low as a stop. If it comes back down through there, what's the normal? Normal is if they break through a resistance level, they'll come back and test it to see if it's going to act as support. AAOI had a good chart. I would just stay long on this one. You had your best friend, kind of a doji sandwich. I would suspect the first target is right here, which means the second target is your 50. Third target is the 200, trying to fill that gap up here. And Smegmo, that one has to trade positive. If it trades lower, you're caught in a bobble. I'd come out of it and wait to buy it once it comes back up through the 50. Roku is still stronger than Bear's Breath. You stay long. At this point, pick a spot where it shouldn't be trading. The optimal safety stop is right here. Boy, I probably wouldn't want to see it trade back below the halfway point of this candle. That would tell me the sellers have started to take control. Box, nothing great here until it breaks out one way or the other. If you're long, don't let it close below the T-line. If you're looking to go long, you can buy on the next positive trading day that breaks out through that through that resistance level. Nugget, nothing. Best might be going short on weakness tomorrow on a wave 1, wave 2. Look at your left-right combo, then taking you back down below the T-line. So if you're shorting tomorrow, watch to see what it does at this level. It needs to break through that level. Blackstone, stay short. Very J-hook pattern that hasn't held at the 200. STX. This looks like a bobble setup. You can be buying this one if it comes up through this level. If you happen to be long already, you stay long. Don't let it close below the T-line. If it does that, it's telling you the trajectory is going sideways. What we're looking for right now should be a bobble coming back up to test the 200. PNR, there's your left-right combo, smack dab off the 50 in the oversold area. That one would have had me close out long for short positions today. I wouldn't be going long until they can get it back up above the T-line. FBHS, another left-right combo. You can buy this one if it comes back up above the T-line. It wouldn't be one of my favorites just because of the lack of movement in it, but it would be a buy at that point. Oh, the Russell as a short? Oh, no, because look what's happening here. I wouldn't be going short, definitely. If you are short, be ready to cover this if it opens positive because you can see what's happening every single day. They open it and close it higher. Open it lower, close it higher from where they opened it. Even though it's drifting down, you can see the buyers are still there. They aren't coming out of the market with any great enthusiasm. We did Constellation. You can be buying this one. We did JD. The Greek fund. If you're short, you stay short. They're a little bit tough to trade, but stay short. MYGN. If you're long, this is why you want to watch to see what happens at the T-line. I probably would have come out here with it coming back down and closing if I had gone long in here somewhere, but I would have bought it back yesterday or today. Now you just watch to see what it does here at the 50, which is the filling of that gap. In UPS, left-right combo gap up. Not going to make a whole lot of money with this, but it should be moving in the right direction, so more of an option trade. FedEx, same. Well, that's more of a toughie. No real reversal other than the gap up. Yeah, if it trades above the T-line, you can be buying it. Without a reversal signal, you just watch to see where the first obvious resistance level would be, which would be right here, and see what happens at that level. We did Twitter. Cena, nothing. Nothing there. Rambus, you can buy this one on positive trading. GHL, this one you can be buying. Not a big percentage move, but about a 10% back up to this level. FRT, probably going to do what we just suspect it would do, coming through a resistance level, coming back to test to see if the 200 is going to act as support. HOLX, you stay long until you see a sell signal and a close, but right now I don't anticipate they're going to the 200. Molina, J-hook pattern setup. You can be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. EXAS needs to stay above the T-line. If this one opens lower tomorrow, you've got a bearish flutter kicker. I'd be going short with the anticipation they're coming back to the 50, which would kind of correlate with the bottom of the trend channel. But if they open it lower, you've got a shooting star, doji, bearish flutter kicker. I'd be going short at that point. What do you see that looks good for possible recommendations tomorrow? I'd be looking to short ISM, INSM. Oh, no, I'd be looking to go long INSM. I'd be looking to go short on EFII. And I can't remember. No, that wasn't it. Maybe fossil. I should have put more X's down as I went along. AUPH, nothing. If you're short, you can stay short. CNAT, if you didn't cover your short, you stay short. Silica, stay long with the anticipation they're heading for the 200. High yield, fallen angels. I would stay short, but you can see how you're starting to get a support level right here. Watch to see if they bounce it off the 200. And then I'd be, wouldn't be going long. Prego, still in the message stage. Got to watch for a buy signal. Zenga, nothing. Wouldn't be long or short this one. NAC, you can stay long. A little kicker type signal again today, indicating there's probably going to be more upside. Juniper, left-right combo. That one I'd be more apt to be buying with the first target up here at the 50, second target filling the gap just above the 50. Under Armour was still a little bit soggy. Notice what it did when it got back up here to the T-line. Failed. If it opens lower tomorrow, you can be shorting it. Then you just watch to see what happens at this level. Because what you'd be anticipating with this kicker signal, the downside, is wave 1, wave 2, more downside on wave 3. Okay, and one more, Disney. Disney, that's a toughie too. When you're pushing the overbought area and they're stretching it and they just hit the T-line, not the T-line, a resistance level, which I imagine was up here, get ready to take some profits. What's the worst case scenario if you sell right in here? You can buy it right back because this would be a big green candle. You could buy it back if they came up through here or in the next couple of days. So right now, that's a toughie. If you're long, stay long, but I wouldn't want to see it come back down through this level. All right, everybody. Kept you way past time. We'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning in the chat room. We'll see you then.